This is episode number 158. The subject, the Superfan, how to develop fans that give you more money and spread your message for you. That's coming up.
This is the Red Podcast. How to take your idea and make a name for yourself within your industry and beyond. Spread your message, attract a following, rise above the noise. Here's your host, David Hooper.
Laurel Staples is back. A lot of people have asked, where did Laurel go? Like we had some kind of fight or we got divorced or something, but nope, you're right here.
No, there was nothing that interesting that happened. I've just been working on my Pro Coach Academy, and it's taken a lot of time. I had to take a little step back from this and leave it in your capable hands.
We'll talk about Pro Coach Academy later in this episode. It's how to grow your coaching business. But you've got an aspect of it that I want to dive into on this episode. It's what I call the Superfan plan. My name, not yours, but how to basically get clients. Get people who are going to pay you money for your advice.
I would agree. I would say Superfans are a lot of times your clients, because when your clients work with you, they get a great result. They are the ones that start marketing for you. They become your Superfans. They start telling other people about what you're doing, about how you've helped them. And so the more clients you get, the more Superfans you can get.
And even if you don't take one-on-one clients, you're not a coach, you're not a consultant, this is going to help you. This is the Red Podcast, the podcast for influencers. If you're a blogger, a podcaster, speaker, marketer, nonfiction author, or an entrepreneur, this is the podcast for you. We talk about how to take your idea, make a name for yourself, and make money. That's exactly what we're doing on this episode today. I want to dive deeper into what a superfan is. Coming from the entertainment industry, 80% of your money, the high-end goods and services that you sell, that's really what that's from. It comes from 20% of the fans, really probably 10. It's more like a 90-10 split. These are the fans that I call superfans. These are the fans that you know, anybody who's into a band or a television show or a guru, such as Miss Laurel Staples. These are the people that buy everything that this entertainer or this coach or this guru comes out with. They're the people that are telling all their friends about them. They're the people that go to all the live events. And that's what we're talking about developing on this episode.
You talked about that in your 6-figure musician book, about how to cultivate 1,000 true fans. And that's kind of the method we're talking about, but not in the music industry today, is how to have those super fans that show up for you, like you're saying, buy all your stuff. Because it's not just in the music industry. It's
not an entertainment thing. It's any business. You think about Apple. How many people do you know that have the Apple Watch? And I guarantee if they've got the Apple Watch, they've got an iPad, they've got an iBook, they've got the Macintosh at home, they've got an iPhone.
It's a lot of Apple going around.
Fanboys, yeah. And we want to help you do that with your business, with your message, have these people do your marketing for you. You and I had an interesting conversation a couple of nights ago. We were out at dinner with some friends, and you had an admission, which is that you suck at Facebook.
I suck at Facebook. I'm not going to lie. And we were at dinner with somebody who's 8 years younger than I am. I graduated college, and then Facebook came around. So it was after my time. And this guy is 8 years younger than me, so he went through high school and college with Facebook. And he is challenging me on why I suck at Facebook and telling me I need to get on there and I need to do better and I'm thinking about it wrong and all this stuff. And I just kind of admitted I suck.
Well, you don't like it. That's the main reason.
I don't like it because it came in after my time, and I was able to get into it originally on a personal level, but on a business level, it's just not how I like to connect with my fans, my audience, and my client. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I'm not a pro at it.
A lot of people suck at Facebook. A lot of people just don't like it, even if they are good at it. A lot of people are not good at Twitter.
Well, a lot of people use it wrong, too. Even if they think they're good at it, they're wasting a lot of time on it. And they're not developing super fans because they don't know how to use it.
Facebook is sneaky like that because it's easy to think that you are doing work and that you are growing your business when you're not.
Exactly.
The other side of the coin on that, though, is that if you're not that great at Facebook, you can grow your business in other ways because that's really how businesses are growing. And we're talking about that here on this episode. So how do you use Facebook now? If you are on Facebook, you've got somebody that you're interacting with, what happens next?
What I do is I try to get people I connect with online, whether it's through Facebook or Twitter. I'm more on Twitter than Facebook. Facebook, I really suck at, but Twitter, I try to get them on the phone and actually establish a connection with them. I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm just trying to have a connection, create a friendship, see where something can go. That's my first step with somebody.
That's where the real connections happen. I know a lot of people that, again, they get kind of tricked by Facebook. You've got your people that you interact with all the time, or you see them in thread discussion, and you think that you know them. But, I saw this interesting thing a few months ago. I saw a guy who was looking for somebody to help him move. Has a lot of Facebook followers.
What's a lot of Facebook followers?
Thousands, a few thousand.
Thousands, okay.
Super interaction among people. This guy will post a photo. He'll post a comment. He gets a lot of interactions, a lot of likes, a lot of comments on whatever he does. But he's looking for somebody to help him move. And nobody jumped in on that one. One, because a lot of people are far away from this guy. But two, it's just not that kind of connection. It's what I call a drive-by connection. It's easy to like something. It's easy to comment on something, but you don't have that much dedication toward the relationship. And that's why I think Facebook is tricky. We feel like we've got that connection, but it's a facade.
Also, when it comes to business, people do not want to be sold to on social media. And I don't have the statistics on me, but I read an article that they did a study, like, how do you prefer to receive offers from businesses? Just asking the general public. What they responded with was email newsletters. Email is the number one way that they want to receive offers, products and sales and things like that. Social media, very few people wanted to receive any offers on Facebook. It's just not a place people want to be sold to. And then on LinkedIn, 0 people. Nobody wanted to receive any offers on LinkedIn. You have to take the relationship, even if you're on Facebook and you're good at it, or you're on Twitter and you're good at it, you have to take the relationship beyond that if you do want to turn these people into customers or clients or have them spend any money with you. So whether you get them on your email list, whether you talk to them on the phone, you do have to take that next step with them. And Facebook is not the end point, it's a beginning point.
Especially when you're going for what I call real money. Now, let's say you wanted to make $1 million. There are a couple ways that you could do that. One, you could sell 1 million people a $1 item, or you could sell 1,000 people a $1,000 item, which is easier.
That sounds a lot easier.
Yeah, it's easier to me. Definitely. And the way to sell a $1,000 item is not via Facebook. People aren't going to just click on a link, give you a credit card, and be done with it. $1,000 is real money to a lot of people. So if you're going for those higher end items, even I would say as little as maybe $200 or $300, it's good to get people off of social media. So let's talk about that process. What happens when you have that superficial connection on Facebook? You want to grow it into something more substantial. You just say, hey, give me a call.
This happened on Twitter yesterday. There was a girl, I guess in the last week, she tweeted me. She said she downloaded my ebook that I offer on my website, so she's already on my mailing list. And I said, great, what's your business? I tweeted her back, what do you do? She sent me her website and what she did. I thought it was interesting. I thought we could have a connection and talk about our different businesses. So I just tweeted her back and said, hey, I'd love to set up a time to talk to you on the phone. Can we coordinate via email? She sent me her email address, and we're doing that. Some people are a little skeptical to go off social media and onto the phone because they think you're trying to give them a hard sell or something like that. I'm just trying to establish a connection and find out if there's any way I can support this woman to do what she does. Not trying to have a sales conversation, just trying to build a relationship and trying to do it offline. And that's going to create that super fan where I could Twitter her back and forth for years. For the next 5 years, I could Twitter her every week. But I'm not going to establish the same relationship as I would with a 15 or 20-minute phone conversation. So to answer your question, just reaching out and saying, hey, I'd love to talk to you. Do you have time to do that?
Let's break that process down a little bit. So you're interacting with her on Twitter. You're trying to take it to a different medium, in this case, the phone. And you're not necessarily trying to sell her something. You don't know that what you've got is even good for her. You're just trying to further that connection a little bit. Maybe she can help you. Maybe you can buy something from her. You're just trying to take the connection a little bit deeper to see what she has and what you have to see if you're a match for each other. It's no different from meeting somebody at a party and saying, hey, you mind if I call you sometime?
Exactly. And it could be that you connect with somebody and they turn out to be a referral partner. As you said, David, they help you or they become a client. But you have to start by building that relationship. And it can start on social media. It just can't end on social media.
Something I hear in the entertainment business all the time, you always hear that the record industry, the book industry, the movie industry, it's been killed by the download. Now that you can get everything for free, it can be downloaded for no cost, that it's going to kill the industry. And there's some truth to that. It's certainly cut into the bottom line of the record industry, the movie industry, the book industry. But the one thing that you're never going to be able to download is an experience. And that is the difference between having a phone conversation with somebody, having a live event with somebody there, actually getting that face-to-face connection. Everybody is online, and there's little differentiation between their Facebook post, their tweet, and yours and everybody else's. But when you have that phone conversation, you can actually hear somebody's voice, mannerisms, ask questions, get instant responses. And certainly when you're face-to-face and you can see them, smell them, touch them, activate all the senses, it's completely different. And it's memorable. The more senses that you touch, the more memorable that you're going to be to them. That sounds very basic, kind of a weird psychological biology kind of thing, but it's true.
It is true. The whole online world isn't really built for humans. I mean, that's just kind of a new thing. Humans interact through our five senses. When you have a one-on-one interaction with somebody on the phone, at a live event, in person, at a networking event, it is more personable. It's more memorable. And do you remember who you tweeted last week, who you had a Facebook conversation with?
It could have been hundreds of people.
I wouldn't remember who I had those conversations with, but I remember who I saw at the last live event that you and I went to in Vegas. And I remember who I talked on the phone with. And for me, when you create a memory with somebody, then when they need the service that you have, you're the person that they go to, which is great. And that social media interaction doesn't always establish that relationship to make you memorable enough that you're the go-to person.
I think one of the things that's very addictive about social media, especially if you're like this guy that I'm talking about that has 2,000 or 3,000 friends and he can post something and get that instant interaction, is that it's an instant interaction. You don't have that when you're talking about doing what you're doing. Let's say you were to meet somebody at a party, you hit it off, hey, call me sometime. You've got to wait a few days before you know if he or she is actually going to call you. And I think that's very scary to some people. That's another reason why we go back to social media, because those offline connections, they do take a little bit of time to develop. Yours are no different when you're going for these business connections. So let's talk about how long does the process take. First of all, people are often skeptical. Sometimes it's going to take you reaching out to them a couple of times if it's somebody that you really want to talk to before they interact with you and get back to you.
It's true. When you want to build your super fan base and you want to get more clients, which is what I help people with, it is going to take some time. And I think social media, which we've been talking about, is a way to get in touch with them and stay in touch with them. But you have to have that other point of contact to really get them involved. In the entertainment industry, it would be fans coming to your show, the live event, and interacting with you. And then you stay in touch with them via social media until they can do it again. So you have to have those points of contact with them. So how long does it take? Early last year, I was giving a presentation in town about blogging and how to use your blog to get more clients. And one of the people in my workshop was a caterer. She was interested in getting the blog going for her company. And she came up to me afterwards, and I believe this was right before we got engaged or right after we got engaged. And she said, hey, I'm a caterer in town. Here's my card. Maybe I just told her I just got engaged, and that's why she gave me her card. And I just wasn't thinking about wedding planning then. But she emailed me. She stayed in touch with me. I think she found me on social media. I ran into her in a couple months, still wasn't really planning the wedding, but she said, hey, I'd love to help. Anytime you want to talk, just let me know how I can help. She just kept that connection going with me. So I think maybe a couple months before our wedding, which was months after I'd first met this caterer, I needed a caterer. I had to line up the caterer for our wedding.
Well, and you and I actually ran into her on the street.
Yes.
And she recognized you And I think that she remembered you and your conversation, if I'm remembering this correctly. And she's like, how's the catering going? And it started that conversation, and that's how relationships are formed.
Mm-hmm. So she stayed in touch. She ran into me. She kept going, any way I can help, just let me know. I'm happy to talk to you on the phone. Even if we're not the right fit for you, even if my company can't help you, let's just talk. So months after I met her, she was the first person I called when it was time to get a caterer, because I had established that connection with her, and she was building that trust with me over a period of time. So it did take a couple months, and it can do that when you're trying to land clients. You meet them on Twitter, you get them on the phone, you talk to them. They might not be ready to hire you. They might not even need your services at this time. A couple months go by, maybe even a year goes by. And then if you stay in touch with them, you're the first person that comes to their mind. You're the memorable person. You're the go-to expert. And that's when they call you.
I think if we look at that caterer as an example, it's one conversation spread out over a long period of time, spread out over different places, spread out over different modalities. That is how relationships are built. It's easy to think that just because it's one person that you connect with would be equal to somebody on Facebook. But as we were talking about the guy who was trying to move, couldn't find anybody to help him do that. He can get likes all day. He can get comments all day. All fans, all contacts, all the people that you're trying to reach, all the people who read your book, not created equal.
Exactly. And you want to take people that next step with you. And what this caterer did really well was she didn't have any sort of high pressure sales process. She wasn't just trying to get me in so she could sell to me or tell me why she was the greatest caterer in town. She just said, let me know if I can help. I'm happy to help. And she just kept sending me that message in different ways. And we ended up hiring her, and she was the best caterer. We had the best food. I mean, she really came through on that. And it was a great experience, the whole process. For her, it might have looked like, hey, it took a couple months there, even more than that, to get it going, but it ended up working out in the end.
I want to point out that this caterer was not the cheapest.
No, she was not the cheapest.
But because of the relationship, because we knew that she knew what she was doing, she was going to take care of us, price really wasn't an issue. That's also something to keep in mind. The first thing that an amateur salesman will do when he gets a little bit of resistance, drops the price. But if you've got this relationship, I don't think price even came up. We didn't haggle with her. She told us the price, and we said, okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, because she was the person for the job. And now, not that I'm planning any more weddings, but I've become her super fan, and that I've told other people about it. I told everyone there who my caterer was. If anyone did get married, I would absolutely recommend her because of the way that our relationship happened and the way she really came through for the wedding. I have become somebody who refers her, which is what you want with your clients. You want them to have a great experience and to be a super fan and to talk about you. Even if they don't need your services again, they're going to know somebody who does.
And that's another big takeaway. It's not like she was trying to sell you from the moment that she met you. I think a lot of people are scared of getting folks on the phone or scared of talking with people on the phone because they're either afraid to sell or afraid of being sold to. It's a different approach. You're just trying to make a connection to see if you can help each other out, to see if you even like each other. It's not even like you're trying to use each other. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. It's not that kind of thing. You're just trying to connect with people.
Exactly. And for her, she came to my blogging class and learned a lot there. And if she wanted to take that further and learn how to get more clients, more catering clients with her blog, she would come back to me. So it is kind of give and take on that.
I want to talk about the 10 by 10 Pro Coach Academy, but before we get into that, Laurel, I want to challenge you, if you're listening to this and it resonates with you, get somebody on the phone this week. It doesn't have to be a sale. It doesn't have to be even thinking about a sale, but those people that you're talking to on Facebook, those people that you're talking to on Twitter, reach out to somebody. Give them your phone number and say, hey, give me a call. Let's take this offline and see what happens with that connection. When you do that, reach out to me via Twitter. I'd love to hear how that goes. And speaking of phones, the Red Insiders, if you go to redpodcast.com, I'm getting people on the phone. If you're interested in that and talking to me, letting me help you with your business to grow your influence, Red Insiders is available to you. It's free. Redpodcast.com has details. Let's talk about if people want to go further with getting new clients. You've got 10 by 10 Pro Coach Academy. You've been a coach for how many years? Years. One of the things that you're really great about, and this is how you kind of got into coaching, is that you're good at getting clients.
I am great at getting clients, actually, because I've really come up with a system that helps people get clients. And I've broken that system down into a step-by-step process in the Pro Coach Academy. And that's why I've been away for Red for so long, because I've been working on this. So the Pro Coach Academy, it's a 12-week master course designed exclusively for coaches and consultants who want to build a thriving full-time business. And basically that means getting more clients. And that can be one-on-one clients or group clients, because the process of doing it is the same. So through this unique step-by-step system that I've created over the years, you'll learn the specific marketing, the selling, the communication techniques, everything that you need that's necessary to reach more people, bring them into your business, make more money, and really massively increase your client base. So that's what it's all about. That's why I've been away from Red for so long. And it's enrolling now until July 9th is our start date. So it's pretty exciting.
This thing really is like a faucet. You turn it on a little bit more when you need more clients. You got too many clients right now, scale it back a little bit, but it's an ongoing process. And whenever you're launching anything, you've got all the clients that you need right there for you, because you've built these relationships up. You've got basically people waiting in line for you to open the doors.
Yep.
You've probably seen popular restaurants, Laurel, where 11 a.m. they're getting ready to open up for lunch and people are lined up, just waiting for those doors to open. That is what your coaching business can be with Pro Coach Academy.
And that's where it starts. Is I hear the complaint from most all new coaches of, where do I start? How do I get not just my first client, but how do I build a practice? How do I build this business? How do I do my marketing? How do I do my sales? It can be complicated as a coach, because if you are a coach, you know that you're selling an intangible good. Coaching is not tangible. It's not a widget. It's not a product. It's not a concrete service that you're offering. Like, hey, I'll get your website set up for $9.95. How do you convey the message of what is that value? How do you talk to people in a certain way that shows them what you do and that you can add value to them in the way that they're willing to pay you for it and pay you a lot for it? And so that's what I've designed here, and that's what I'm launching, and I'm really excited about it. I already have some wonderful people enrolled in the program, and if you're interested, you can just go to 10by10coach.com and learn more.
If you've got questions or comments, reach out to me online via Twitter is the best way to get me. @DavidHooper is my username. And be sure to sign up for Red Insiders. Go to redpodcast.com for that. It's free. We get on the phone every month. There's a great group of people, and I will personally help you to grow your influence, grow your business, get more customers, and make more money. Appreciate your support of Red Podcast. Laurel, you're going to come back soon, right?
I'll be back soon. Once this thing kind of gets rolling, I'll have more time and I can get back in here. But you've been holding down the fort quite well.
Been holding it down. And if you don't want to miss an episode, redpodcast.com is how to subscribe. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time on the next episode of Red Podcast.
You've been listening to Red Podcast, Real Entrepreneur Development. Subscribe today using iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS at redpodcast.com.
You scratch your back, I'll scratch mine.
Mm-hmm.
You scratch your back. Sorry. What are you doing? Wrap it up.
Number 1, and number 2, and number 3.